Welcome back, everybody, to the Unleash Your Full Potential in the Workplace. I hope that you have been enjoying these amazing interview series. And I hope that you have been implementing and taking action in terms of learning, putting things into place, and so forth. One of the things that I want to share with you is to make sure that you're telling a friend about this session. There are 14, this is for 14 days, and there are over 25 leadership experts who are here to share their expertise and genius with you. A couple of reminders. So these interviews can be replayed within 24 hours. But if you would like to have access for a longer period, you can receive unlimited access if you are to click on the VIP button. So you can look at these videos in your leisure, at your convenience, but I can guarantee you that the information that is coming out of these sessions, that you will need to do that. You won't be able to look at it in one go. So I'm encouraging you to make sure you click on that button. I have an amazing speaker with me today. Her name is Allison Maya Rose Rogers. Did I say it correctly, Allison?
Yeah, close enough. Allison Maya Rose Rogers, yes.
Right, sorry. I always mess up names sometimes. I'm so sorry. Allison Maya Rose Rogers. She is, she is an author, a speaker, media host, and a feminine intuitionist, I call it. She has been featured on stages and platforms all over the world. Allison has received awards for her work with intuition and speaking, including the award in excellence presented to her by the City Summit Foundation. Her clients have included professional athletes, influencers, and moms. Today, she enjoys guiding successful women to lead. She enjoys talking about feminine intuition. And today, she's going to share with us her success story. She's going to talk about how she's able to help others have a more happier and fulfilling life. Welcome, Allison, to our platform today.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, Corliss. And I love what you're doing here with this virtual summit. And I love what you said about sharing this, because it's my belief that when we as women come together and we collaborate and we support each other and we share our wins with each other, that's where the true growth comes, and that's where the divine healing and also empowerment comes through the divine feminine.
That's true. So Allison, tell our audience out there includes professional women, women who may be at home and they want to return to the workplace, or women who just looking at assuming authority, gaining progress, and who want to be successful in their career. Tell us a bit about this feminine intuition and how it works.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, this is something that's near and dear to my heart. So in my own journey, I've had these interesting paths that I've gone in, and I'm sure a lot of you on here can relate to this. There have been times where I felt like I have no idea how I'm going to create things and how things are going to happen, and I'm stuck in this space of being stuck, right? And then I've had these moments of glory and greatness, and I've been presented awards and been on stage and meeting celebrities, and I've had this sense of achievement, but have been missing the sense of fulfillment. And so I haven't been as happy as I could be. And so I become really passionate about teaching women how to tune into their feminine intuition. And that's what we call fem intuition. And the wonderful thing about women and divine feminine is that we really do have access to this intuition that will lead us and guide us on our path to our purpose, if we can tap into that. And the key to that is balancing what I call the yin and the yang energy. So balancing what some people call the feminine and the masculine. And I think the biggest misconception is that women aren't supposed to be in the masculine, that they are just supposed to be only in the feminine. That's not true. Both men and women have this balance of divine feminine and masculine that needs to happen in order to create both achievement and success in what we're doing in the world, and also happiness and fulfillment in our personal lives as well.
Good. That is amazing. And so For the listeners out there, how does feminine intuition correlate with unleashing your full potential in the world?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. Well, you're going to want to write this down. So grab your notebook and pen because there are 4 different archetypes of the divine feminine that are necessary for all women to unleash their potential and step into their greatness. So we all have these 4 different personalities or archetypes within us. And when these are balanced, that's when the yin and the yang is balanced. That's when we really have that achievement and the fulfillment at the same time. So the first one is what we call the healer. And I'll just go ahead and share my screen really briefly. I know this is a short interview, and there'll be an opportunity at the end for you to register for a free class where we'll go through some quizzes and assessments and see how you're doing with all of these archetypes. But for now, I'll just briefly explain these. So the first one is what we call the healer. So the healer is this part of our divine feminine that when we're in balance with all these archetypes, when we're in balance with the yin and the yang, this is when we're really aware. We're aware of the people around us. We're aware of what's going on inside of us. We're connected. So we're connected to the people we work with. We're connected to the earth. We're connected to our inner selves, to our higher power. When you're in balance, you're very intuitive. So clear answers come to you quickly, whether that be a professional answer that you're seeking or a personal answer that you're seeking. When you're in balance and connected with the healer, you're very patient with other people and with yourself, and also unconditionally loving with other people and yourself. And I really want to reiterate with yourself, because as women, what we struggle with the most is being impatient with ourselves or demanding too much of ourselves, not being unconditionally loving. And that leads to these high stress levels, and that affects our ability to tap into our intuition. Now, when you're out of balance with the yin and the yang energy, and out of balance with the healer, how this shows up is you become needy, you're a martyr, you're frumpy, you become a pushover. So, and this, I have to highlight the martyr because I am an ex-professional martyr. I learned this from my mom. So, and what that means is that I would say yes to everything. I'll do all the work, I'll take care of everything, and then I would be grumpy or complain about it in my head. And that does not lead to success and happiness in life. So the healer's part of the yin energy, and it's a really important part of that divine feminine. The next of the divine feminine, the next archetypes is what we call the warrior. So the warrior is that part of us that is focused as women, that can be very determined, that can be the producer and the protector. This is where boundaries come in. And boundaries are essential in the workplace. Boundaries are essential whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a professional or you're thinking about launching your own business or going back into the workplace. You have to be able to create these boundaries around yourself so that you can really unleash the potential and power that's within you. And when you're out of balance with this energy, that's when you become too forceful. Many women say, I feel like I'm too masculine. You become insensitive and harsh, either with yourself or with other people. And when I see women step too much into this warrior energy and become out of balance, this is where I see families and relationships sacrificed in order for the win in the workplace. So if you've ever had that happen, that could be a sign that you're out of balance with your warrior. And the warrior's, again, a yang energy. So we have the healer that's yin, the warrior that's yang, and there's 2 more that I'll just briefly describe. This next one is so fun. This next one is the archetype that we call the temptress. So this is that part of you that's able to feel good in your own skin, that you feel sexy for yourself, you feel good in your body, you feel flirty, not necessarily with other people, but with life. You don't take things too seriously. You know how to play, you know how to have fun, you know how to be carefree. You know when to put the work items or the things you're stressed about on the shelf and be able to be fully present in the moment and enjoy all the things that are going on within you and outside of you. And when you're out of balance with this temptress energy, you become irresponsible, insecure, attention hog, or even in some cases, you get labeled as slutty. So this is the temptress energy. And this is a yin energy again. This is the more playful energy. This is such a big part of the feminine energy. And when women get stuck and can't move forward and feel like they're stuck in their lives and their careers, it's because they aren't tapping into that playful energy of the temptress. And then the last one that I want to share with you, this is again a yang energy. And this is the energy of what we call the queen. And so when you're in balance and have this queen energy within you, this is where the confidence comes from, the responsibility. You're in charge. You're able to delegate to either your team or your family. If there's something you don't like to do, if you don't like to do housework, you delegate that to somebody else. If you're creating a team or running something within your business, you're able to delegate tasks to people in order to optimize your performance and the performance of what you're working towards. Now, when you're out of balance with the queen, this is when you become bossy, demanding, controlling, perfectionist. And again, this can go towards being bossy, demanding, or controlling of other people or with yourself. And what's so beautiful is when all of these four archetypes are balanced out. And again, there'll be a link at the end where you can register for a free class. We take assessments. You can take an assessment and see how you're doing with each of these feminine archetypes. And then we'll talk to you about how that might be affecting your performance in the workplace or in your personal life. But when you are in balance with all of these, the beautiful thing is it creates what is called this goddess energy. And so the divine goddess energy is when you step into this power of being the creator of your life. You're able to create what you want in your life, both personally and professionally. You're balanced, you're in flow, you feel abundant, you're peaceful, happy, connected, and you have access to that full femme intuition. You just know what to do. And it's so beautiful because when you're able to step into the space of the divine goddess energy, it's like you don't have to worry about what's the next step. What should I do now? How can I live my purpose? Where am I going to go? Everything just flows easily and effortlessly. And you just have this knowing of what to do and where to go. So this is the beauty of the divine feminine. And again, when you're able to balance all four of those archetypes and call upon those, that's when you can unleash your true potential. That's when you can step in your full power and greatness and glory. And the problem is that most women end up operating from only one or two of these divine feminine archetypes. And then they get out of balance with the yin and the yang. And how this may show up for you is if you're too much in your yang energy, you may feel like you're having achievements in your life. So you may be having professional wins. You may be feeling like you are moving ahead and producing a lot of results, but you aren't happy in your life. You may feel unfulfilled or empty. You may notice that the relationships in your life are crumbling or falling apart, and things just aren't flowing in a way that allows you to feel like you are experiencing happiness and joy. And if you're too much in the yin energy, if you're too much stuck in these yin archetypes, what ends up happening is this is where you feel like you aren't able to achieve things. You don't know how to accomplish things. You aren't moving forward or up the ladder in your success with your profession. So it's really important to be able to have a good relationship with all four of these archetypes and to balance your yin and your yang, because that's where the achievement comes, the successes that you're having in your life. And also the fulfillment comes where you know that you're living your purpose and you're able to be happy and fulfilled in that.
Where did the theory of yin and yang come originate, Allison?
Oh my goodness, the theory of yin and yang has been around for millennia. So if you are notice, there's like a circle that you've probably seen before with a little S in it. And part of it's black with a little white dot, and part of it's white, with a little black dot. And this is just a representation of the yin and the yang.
Hmm. And how do you get this balance that you speak of?
Yeah, so it's really important. I always say, and write this down, awareness is the first step to transformation. So the first thing is to become aware, and this is where the assessments come into place, where you're able there's just a brief assessment for each of these different archetypes. And at the end of the assessment, there's a score. And so you can see clearly which archetypes you score high in, which you score low in. And this gives a big picture of like, are you too much in the yin? Are you too much in the yang? Now, if you're wondering right now, how do I know this? And you don't have the assessment in front of you, you know that you're out of balance because you feel it in your life. You don't feel fulfilled. You don't feel happy. Or as happy as you could. Maybe you're struggling in your relationships, or your professional life is just not moving forward like you'd like for it to move. So it's just that feeling like something's not quite right, like you aren't fully living up to your potential. This could be an indicator that you're out of balance with those energies.
Hmm. And so share a success story with us, Allison, of someone who, describe a situation for us that this process helped them to be more in alignment. Let us know what that looked like.
Oh, yeah, this is such a beautiful process. So, one of my clients that I've been working with recently, when she first came to me, she's an investor. And so she is a real estate investor and investing in multiple different real estate opportunities. And she's single. She was married and then divorced, and it was a really horrific divorce. And she's just feeling in her life like she was not quite in balance with herself. She was wanting to get into a relationship, but she wasn't feeling good about herself. She also had some questions about where to invest and where she should live. And it was really great because as we did the assessment, we realized that she was too much in this yang energy. And the energy that she was really low on was the temperance energy, the playful energy, the fun energy. She was so much in her headspace worrying about what's the next step, what's the next investment. And so we did a process with her right away where she was just able to close her eyes. We got her back into center and just had her ask herself the question of, what is it that I really want? And specifically for her, the process that we were doing this around was, where do I want to live? And so we tapped in and we just took a moment. It took 5 minutes of quiet space for her to tune in and to listen. And she said, you know what I really want? I want to live in, and she was very specific about the exact type of home she wanted to live in, the exact type of area. And I could see the stress lifting. And what ended up happening was she hadn't taken the time enough to be still and really even figure out what she wanted. She was so in her headspace and kept asking other people, what should I do? What should I do? And the fact of the matter is, there's no one size fits all answer for everybody. What's right for somebody else might not be right for her. But as she tuned in and got clear on the answer, the miracle is the following week, she had 2 opportunities come her way for the exact living space that she wanted. And so now she had to decide, which one she wanted. But it was so beautiful. And as we continued to work together, she also started aligning in the space where she felt good enough with the relationship within herself that she felt like when somebody came, she was ready to call that relationship into her life, that she let go of all the insecurities. She let go of feeling like she wasn't good enough and stepped in that space of confidence and drawing those clear boundaries around really herself to be able to call in that relationship. So it's been beautiful to be on that journey with her. And I just got a message from her that she again had somebody call out of the blue with an investment opportunity that she had passed up a year and a half ago and was kind of kicking herself for passing that up. And she said, it's just a miracle, Allison, that this exact opportunity would come right now. So that's just an example of how when you do the process, when you start going through the exercises of balancing the energies, when you start really being still enough to listen to what it is that you want within you, and then moving forward with action steps, that amazing opportunities just seem to flow into your life in abundance.
Yeah. So would you say it's a mixture of meditation, visibility, visualization? What would you say if you have to summarize the process?
Yeah, well, here's where the yin and the yang comes into place, right? The yin is very internal. Yin is figuring out, first of all, what you want, and then getting still enough to really listen. And a really great process for this that I'd love to share with everybody is just simply figure out what it is you want, whether it be in a relationship or professionally or financially, whatever that is you want. And then just right before you go to bed, take a blank sheet of paper and write that question down. So, how can I continue to reach my financial goal of calling in $100,000 a month so that I can live a fulfilled life full of travel and fun, right? So here's a couple of keys when you're writing your question. Start with the how and make sure you include the so that, because that's what really fuels the question, right? Because it's the thing that you want to get from that. And Wayne Dyer talks about this. He said the 5 minutes just before bed are the most important 5 minutes for seeding your subconscious. So if you can write down this question, just put it on your nightstand, go to bed. So within 5 minutes of going to bed, write it down, forget about it, go to bed. And all night as you're sleeping, your subconscious is going to work on this question. And then when you wake up in the morning, within 5 minutes of waking up, when you're still kind of in that dream state where you can remember your dreams, just pick up the paper and write down the first action step that flows through you and comes into your mind. And this action step may make absolutely no sense at all. It could be, how can I call in that $100,000 so that I can live a fulfilled life full of travel and fun? And maybe the answer you get is to take a bath. Or maybe the answer is more direct, like reach out to this financial investing partner or whatever that is. Don't question it, just write it down. And here's where the yang comes in. Then you need to do it, because the yang is what drives, it's the action. You can get all the answers to all the questions you want, But faith without works is dead. If you don't actually move forward with those answers that you're getting from God, from your higher self, from the universe, whatever you call your higher power, then they aren't going to come into fruition. This is where the yang energy comes in. So, number one is being still enough to figure out what it is you want and take time to listen to your subconscious. And then number two, the yang energy portion of that is to actually follow through and do that action step. And it's amazing because I've had things like that happen where I've written down an answer that makes no sense, but when I'm sitting in the bath, I have an idea come into my mind that I haven't been quiet enough to listen to, or to allow my subconscious to feed to me, to allow God to give to me. And so once I have that answer to that question, then I can now move forward with the action step of it. So it's just a simple process, but it really, I cannot tell you when how much this meant to me when I finally figured out the yin and the yang, when I was given this information in meditation about these 4 different archetypes. And when I started studying and learning it and incorporating it into my life, it brought such a beautiful balance into my life. And not only am I happier, I'm able to touch the world and reach people in a way that I never knew was possible. So and again, just I would encourage anybody listening to this. One other key thing that I want to mention to you before this interview is done is surround yourself with other people who are doing this as well. Surround yourself, especially if you're a woman, surround yourself with other women who are fulfilling their purpose, who are more interested in building each other up than tearing each other down. And as you surround yourself with people who believe in you and believe in themselves as well, then your fire, your flame is just going to be fueled. Your confidence is just going to be able to heighten to the point where you know that anything is possible.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Allison. Is there one thing you would like to leave our audience with today?
Here's the thing I would love to leave with you today. As I've worked with thousands and tens of thousands of women all over the world, this is really what I know to be true. Is that there is a reason why you're here right now. That the feelings that you have inside of you, the pull that you have to do the things that you want to do and create the life that you want to create, that is all in divine flow. And you have everything you need within you now to be able to create that life that you want, the life that's going to create happiness for you and all the people around you. So just believe in yourself.
Oh, that's amazing. Allison, tell us about your free offer.
Yeah, so my free offer, if you click on the link below, you'll go to a registration page. This is for a free masterclass. Masterclass is an hour long. We dive deeper into the 4 archetypes of the feminine energy. And you're also going to be given an assessment. So you can take the assessment and you'll come up with some scores. And then you'll be able to meet with either me or one of our coaches to be able to help you clarify how you can balance the yin and the yang energy, where those things may be affecting your life, either personally or professionally, based on your scores. So, if you want more information, more personalized information about that, then please register for that masterclass, and love to just help guide you on the journey to balancing your yin and your yang and stepping into alignment with all 4 of these divine archetypes.
Definitely. So, my lovely audience, please click on the link below and sign up for this masterclass. I am sure you'll be able to take away something and that balance that I spoke about. So, thank you very much, Allison. I just want to remind my listening audience that there is a Facebook group and we connect, we go live at 5 p.m. Eastern. And together, Allison will be able to meet our audience. They may have questions, they may have ideas, or what they may need clarity on feminine intuition. We'll go live and we are hoping to have real life conversation so we can discuss issues that our professional women may encounter. So that's it from us. Thank you very much, my listening audience. Thank you, Allison, again. There will be more interview series coming along. Please stay tuned. An email is released every day with 2 or 3 speakers. We've got over 25 leadership experts bringing to you how you can unleash your full potential in the workplace. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next series. Bye bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.